Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Kona 2 podcast. It's me, not that loser that you're used to. It's me, Braden Koryoth. And I got these two guys with me this week. Say hello.
Hello.
No. I will not say hello.
Off to a great start.
Yep.
That was a little.
This is what happens when you let Braden be the front end of anything.
Dude, I was a little over enthusiastic. That's all. Okay.
Well,
No, you gave it the outtake that no one's ever gonna see was great. I loved it.
it was
Okay.
It was great energy.
great. But yeah.
Well, whatever, Connor. Whatever. You do your
Whatever.
thing.
All right, bring it in, Connor.
So yeah.
For realsies.
We are here with episode 6 of the Kona 2 cast. Off to a great start thanks to Braden. He asked to take
It was
the reins
fantastic.
And
If this one gets more viewers than like the past 3 we've done, you owe me something.
I owe you something. Okay.
Something.
Well, we
We will not detail.
have quite
On air.
a loaded episode here. We've got a lot to talk about with Kansas, and then some silly season news, and then we have a lot of league news to talk about, mostly with the Essex season finale, and then we'll go into all the other leagues like we usually do. But let's get started, shall we? How about that finish? How about that entire race at Kansas?
That you missed.
I mean,
That I missed.
loser.
I listened to the final 50
I
laps
missed
on
a
MRI.
chunk of the first stage. I missed a chunk of the first stage going to get a pizza, not a pizza, Subway. But the racing I did see was, oh my god.
I kept up with the race
I mean,
through social
like-
media
like,
and listened
first
to the
off-
final 50
first
laps
off-
on MRN, so I know the gist.
Yeah, first off, if I have to say anything, first off, why wasn't that a night race from the get go?
We
And
need
why
more
haven't we
night
had a
races.
Kansas?
Here, I have
why
a
haven't we
theory.
had a
I
Kansas
have a theory.
night race since? Wait, no. Why haven't we had a Kansas night race since 2020?
We need more night races in general.
I have a theory.
Yeah,
The next Gen car
What?
races better under the lights, man.
I think it does.
it does.
It races
It does.
better.
It's proven that it does. It's proven that it does.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
I will
Why
say
are
It's
they-
proven
like,
that
this
it
is
doesn't succeed in hot temperatures. It struggles in hot temps.
this is purely an aesthetic thing for me.
If anything.
But when I first got into the sport, my dad told me that he likes night races because the cars just look faster. And
They look better
They-
in they always look better
just
under
the
lights.
way that the light reflects off the cars
They
when
always
go
have.
down the backstretch, it
They've always,
It
especially with
makes them look
especially
so
with
much faster than daytime.
a NASCAR Cup Series, any motorsport for that matter, except F1, because F1 tracks at night just look like a giant circuit. to be completely honest.
F1 looks ugly at night.
Yeah.
But NASCAR, under the lights, I mean, that is something, that is pure art that cannot be matched.
It's wonderful every
with
time
the
we get it.
wraps, Like the paint.
Night
The
races
paint
are
looks-
just
looking
so
good, but
awesome.
Even
The wraps look better.
look nice under lights.
Paint looks better. Every car looks like it's you can see a lot of the details in the way the car is driving.
Yeah.
Like when I think of night racing, I think of Richmond for some reason. Like Richmond is just the peak night track for me.
I'm not sure.
Richmond
what I
is
would
just,
say
that's
my
a good night track.
Richmond is a fantastic night track.
My night
and-
track
and
is Daytona,
they
I'm going to
just-
be completely honest.
Probably Daytona.
Daytona night
Daytona's a
races
good
are
night
unreal.
track.
That place is so
Yeah.
beautiful at night. Either that
It's
or
really
Darlington.
nice. The Firecracker 400 is always great to watch if it starts on time.
So
Beautiful.
to get a little more on topic, I think is it
Yeah.
safe to assume that Kansas is one of, if not the best track on the circuit?
I think if I was to rank
I
the
think
top
it's
three
the
right now
I think it's the
today,
best track in Cup.
I think if I was to give you a tier list right now today, number 1 would be Atlanta, second Kansas, third Charlotte.
That's a respectful list. I think I'd
I
switch.
I would put those three in a different order.
Yeah,
I
it'd be a
would put
different
Kansas
order for me.
ahead of Atlanta, and I'm not saying that as a discredit to Atlanta. I'm saying that Kansas.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm gonna be honest. I have bias. I have total bias.
I know you do, and that's fine.
I prefer the racing style.
I just prefer the way. Yeah, I prefer.
I mean, as someone who's attended like the past four or five Atlanta races, I mean, I have massive bias.
You're biased.
Yeah,
and that's
fine.
Makes sense.
It's okay to be biased.
Yeah. So we saw some fantastic racing for the lead basically all night. I mean, stage
even
one,
on the long runs,
stage one.
Stage
one,
like they got a bit.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing.
It got a bit wreck happy.
Yeah, that too.
It got
a bit like at the start of stage 3. It kind of got a little bit wreck happy, but then they like cooled down with about I don't know.
Yeah, they cooled down like right at the right time. If they didn't cool down before that, then it definitely would have been more frowned upon.
And it just that last battle before the caution, where it was just Buescher and Hamlin just not. They never stopped, never stopping.
You had the storyline of, well, Truex is if the caution doesn't come out, Truex is winning that race.
Truex wins that race if there's no caution,
and that's Hamlin would run
another out. And also Truex was like 0.4 of a lap faster anyways.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have mattered if Hamlin had enough gas. Truex was going to catch him with. Truex was going to be past it by 3 to go anyway.
I think it would have made for a great finish, but the caution.
It would have made for a good finish, but obviously the caution gave us something a little bit better.
The caution gave us something, dude. I'm gonna get. The
caution gave us the first time that NASCAR has kind of been broken by a finish.
Yeah, because scoring had the 17 in front of the 5, but reality
literally
has
the scoring
the 5
got it
in
wrong.
front of 17.
Listen, I'm gonna get a little sidetracked here.
Literally, the finish literally broke NASCAR.
I'm gonna get a little sidetracked right here, but listen.
There's
been a whole lot of negativity, all right, and I tell you what, dude, like. I mean, I feel like just whenever I exude it through posting my love for collecting diecast, I really get the point across how much I like NASCAR.
Yeah.
I'm watching everything NASCAR. I mean, this shit is me. If I was one word to describe me, it would be NASCAR. All the negativity, man, it's just been getting me so down. Next gen this, next gen that. This Fort sucks.
I'm the same way.
And then Kansas comes in, man. Oh my god, it got me so juiced. I was literally just screaming, bouncing up and down. Dude, I was bouncing, screaming. My mom told me to come shut my mouth because I was being so loud, dude. It just got me so juiced.
Yeah.
Man. It was such, it was fun. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Side by side, dude, for like half a second, I thought these guys were going to wreck and Chase was going to win, dude. Buescher manages to keep it straight. He wiggles a little. He keeps Larson out of the wall. Oh my god.
I couldn't believe that neither of them were in the wall in 3 and 4. Yeah. I couldn't believe Larson fit that gap and didn't touch the wall. That was honestly the most impressive thing that happened all race.
And then Buescher was able to keep all of his momentum. That might have been
more impressive. Right. That might have been more impressive than Buescher going through the middle of 5 wide.
I think that was cool, but it wasn't that incredible.
Can we just side note on that for a second? How the hell do you split 5 wide through the middle, down the front straightaway at 1.5 miles, and that not even be the best thing you did, the coolest thing you did that night?
That's unreal.
Like, what?
5
how does that happen? Like, how do you have a race that eventful?
It was just a banger.
And also, not to mention the fact that he came all the way from the back at the start of the stage.
Yeah,
that's some just good old NASCAR racing right there.
Good old NASCAR racing. So
like that was. And also the other question to ask is why the hell isn't Xfinity here?
Yeah.
Where was Xfinity there?
Put on a good race.
Imagine the race they would put on. Oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie. I think it would have been good, but I just think the next gen car. I don't know what it is about that place in Kansas, dude. I don't know what it is about that car.
I actually don't think the Xfinity race at Kansas would have been better than the Cup race.
No, No,
Kansas
dude, there's
just
something about the
even
next gen car, man.
it puts
There,
on such good racing. I mean, last year at Kansas, it wasn't a fantastic race, but if you were looking in the right places, there was basically 3 wide everywhere you looked.
I mean,
But
incredible stuff.
Kansas in the next gen has just exceeded. I think it's exceeded all possible expectations for what any track
That's one of the
should
only
do with
things
this
keeping
car.
this car, giving this car any momentum.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. I know I was just talking about
Yeah.
being negative, but there's not much going for it if I'm gonna be completely honest.
It's a very
I mean,
it's a
you're
bad
just
car,
right
but it
there. That's
shines
just the
well at
case.
a select few tracks, and this is one of them.
It's sad, but
Where
that's
it
the
where
truth.
it shines bright enough to almost make all the
Yeah,
bad
dude.
spots.
I put it in the weekly topic ideas,
Almost.
dude. The highs and lows of this car are unlike anything I've ever seen in before in my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
It completely ruined short tracks, which is like with
It-
stock cars, that's literally
Hilarious
impossible to do.
though, too.
It's
Like
It is
in
near
a
impossible
hilarious
to
way.
ruin a short track by creating a stock car, and they did.
well,
And they
It's
did that.
because this
funniest
isn't a
part-
stock
funniest
car.
part to me.
Well, I know it's
Right.
not a stock car,
This
yeah,
is
but
a-
that's how they ruined it.
This
I
is
mean,
a
that's how they
sports
ruined
car
it.
that's
'Cause,
pretending to be a stock car, and that's the big.
That-
it's like
that
literally
and
a
also
GT3 car, but made for ovals.
the way that we had been asking for short tracks for the last like 3 years,
and now
and
no
then
one
they were
wants
like, here's a car that literally can't drive a short track,
it. Or a road
and
course.
then we're like, thanks.
The whole reason why
Like,
people were asking for
damn.
road courses is because they were
Because we had
they were
2.
racing like short tracks. It was good old fashioned beating and banging, lap after lap.
Okay, but
like
here's the
short
thing: we
tracks.
went from 3 road courses in 2019 to 6 in 2021. That was not what we were asking.
Yeah, but
We were not asking for 6 road courses.
we
We were
wanted
asking
more,
for
but
4.
we didn't want. What was it? The
We
other.
wanted to add.
What was the season? There were like 7 or 8 road courses.
21.
Was it 21?
It ended up being like 7. It was Daytona Road Course, Coda,
Oops.
Sonoma, Watkins Glen, Roval,
Are you guys talking about 2020?
Road America,
21.
21.
Oh, 2021.
And I think there was another in there that I can't remember.
Probably.
Wait, what have we named so far?
Daytona Road Course, Coda, Sonoma.
Wait, Daytona Road
Watkins
Course had a
Glen.
points race in 2021? That's right. It was
It
like
did.
right
Yeah.
after Daytona.
I won it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Bell's
Sonoma,
first
Watkins Glen is 5. Road America, the Roval, 7. Right? 6 or too many.
one. Too many. At the end of the day,
Too many. And then they just threw this crap ass package at short tracks, and now we don't really want the short tracks anymore. But now they're actually giving us the short tracks, so now we're conflicted because they're giving us what we asked for, but also
The card.
the thing they're putting on the track that we asked for is shit.
Yeah.
So we have no choice but to be conflicted, but only because NASCAR made us conflicted.
Lots
That
of
sounds
fun.
stupid.
So let's talk about the finish. You have.
Let's talk about.
Haven't
The
we already
finish.
started talked about it?
Well, yes,
We
but
kind
then
of did.
we went off
But
on a
let's
tangent. So
talk about scoring there.
okay,
That's
if-
what I
if you
think we
want
should
to.
talk about. I think we should talk about scoring generally and just the way that race was decided. That race was decided in a way that we have never seen a race be decided, in the way that the result as scoring determined it was overruled by NASCAR not to change the actual margin of victory, but to change the result of the race. And that's something we haven't seen before. We've never even in Reddick and Sadler in 2018. That wasn't a flipped result. That was just really close.
Well, I mean,
We
I see what
had
you're
it
saying,
in-
but I'd make the
yeah.
argument that that's the same thing that happened at Kansas. Because
No, because Sadler wasn't ahead.
oh, okay,
Scoring said Reddick.
I see.
but the scoring was so tight that they had to find.
Yep.
They
I
had
see
to
what you're
find the 10,000.
Well,
In this instance, we didn't need to find the 10,000th, but we needed to actually swap the positions relative to what scoring had to say, and we've never had to do that before.
I saw something on Twitter earlier, and the whole reason that the scoring was wrong in the first place is because the scoring that they use for the scoring that they use for the pylons and shit and like TV is in the like they
It's in the
track the
back of the
car
car.
with like
Not
the thing
on
on the
the
back
line.
of it.
It's not at the
Yeah.
front, so
Yeah, it's in the back of the car.
the scoring
So
loop.
it's whoever crosses the line first, not who's.
And also, I
the
believe
scoring loop is
I
a
also
few feet before the
believe,
line.
yeah,
So
the scoring loop is not accurate.
when they
It's
went
not on
over
the
the
line
scoring
either, which
loop,
is just
the transponder
that's
had
just
Busher ahead.
baffling to me.
Yeah,
That
I think
just I don't get that.
That's an interesting
I-
choice when
I
designing
don't
the
know.
car, but yeah,
I mean, there's also the micro controversy of the paint thing, which
so
That
it
didn't
didn't
affect
matter.
anything because that has
It
nothing to
didn't
do with
affect
timing line.
anything, but it's like confusing. It's like why it's not a problem, but why is that the case? Why is it like that?
yeah, it just needs to be straight.
It's like it's not the problem that we were looking for, but it's a problem that now that we have noticed, we can actually address.
Yeah.
So this doesn't come up the next time we have a 1,000th of a second finish, because knowing Kansas will probably have 4 in the fall.
Probably.
I don't know.
So, I mean, for me, I think the worst part is if I was in Busher's seat. You know, for a solid minute, you think you won. Your team's celebrating, and
it looked like
he's in tears. Quite literally, if you listen to his radio, he's holding back tears. And then you find out that Larson wins.
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, I said it when I was, in the moment. I said Busher.
Everyone did.
Because that's what it looked like.
MRN
it looked like
said
Busher.
it. TV said it.
MRN said Busher.
The teams said
it.
it.
The pylon said Busher. Joy said Busher. And everybody was sold that it was Busher.
The five team.
And then
on
Mike
Twitter
Joy says,
said they
wait.
got P2.
Yeah, the 5. They never deleted that. I think they just left it.
No, they left it up. RFK
they left it as a relic.
The winning graphic.
I think they deleted that.
I think they might have, but yeah.
They probably did, and I don't blame them. But it's like, can we just give a shout out to Ford though? They have been part of
three photo
photos this season,
and they've lost this season by a margin of 0.003 seconds combined.
They have lost by a combined over 3 races. The difference between Ford having 3 wins and Ford having no wins, all the way down to the Mexico series, is 6/1000ths of a second. Combined across 3 races. That would top 5 any closest finish list in the world except drag racing.
Yeah, crazy.
And it separates them from 3 wins.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable bad luck.
Extremely bad luck.
And to think that coming out of 4, the Ford was in the ideal line every time.
It was.
And still couldn't put it away. I mean, I'm impartial to Ford. I don't have an issue with them. There are 2 Fords in my driveway. I think they're both great.
The past 2 championships are fraudulent. Ford.
Last year's wasn't. Logano's was. Anyway. I hate to see it for him. Like, really, I'm not a Ford guy, but I really hate to see it. It's how close they do. They do deserve at least a couple wins this season. Like, they're bad, but they're not that bad. They're not like unwinnable, and they've shown that. They're going luck. And they do this all the time. They do this like every year. They suck in the early season, and then by July they kind of start to put the pieces together, and they get in, and then 2 of them sneak into the playoffs, and one makes the round of 8 or more. It's just kind of what they do. They pick up momentum in the midseason, and then when NBC starts broadcasting races, we're going to see them shoot up the order.
Seems like that's
Blaney's
how it
probably
goes.
going to win 2 races. Logano's going to win a race. hell, McDowell might win Talladega. That's a wild one out there, but I'm calling my shot now.
Yeah.
No
So
reason not
Talk
to.
about a guy that just got shafted.
yeah, I was gonna say. Speaking of Ford,
Yeah, speaking of
the news broke
speaking of Michael
today
McDowell,
that Michael McDowell will be leaving Front Row Motorsports for the '71 Spire Chevy Camaro.
Like, how did that even happen? Because like it happened so early. I feel like
Well, I think the only
there he
way
goes.
it could have happened is if Spire
I just dipped mid-side.
Spire must have offered him a very good deal.
Spire
No,
offered him
how?
a very good deal. I think, honestly,
With like
we'll
what
find, I think,
money? Like
That
with
dude,
what
they just
Gainbridge
spent
money?
$40 million
sponsorship.
on a charter.
They
What
have
do you mean,
money.
what money? They have all of the money in the world. They can burn 40 mil like it's nothing.
Yeah,
Then let's get competitive then.
they are.
They are.
No, I don't think so.
I think they are. Look at Carson
Hocevar.
Hocevar.
You see him
Carson
running like
Hocevar's
top 10,
killing.
top 5. Is he winning a race in that car? Excuse
He
me?
could.
Like, no, he's not. Sorry, he's not though. It's not happening.
Nobody's expecting them to.
Yeah, no one's
Nobody's
expecting them
Front Row
to,
win
but they are
races either.
competitive.
Well, you know, if they got all that money, let's step it
The
up.
77
They
is
have.
competitive. The 77 is competitive, and that's it. But
Yeah,
I think
Listen,
McDowell.
maybe I'll be eating my words because LaJoy makes that 7 car look like amateur hour. I'm going to be completely honest here. LaJoy makes the
He
7 car
does.
look like amateur hour.
I think anybody. I think doubters may get. I think you may be right. Doubters may eat their words, but not now. I think we have to wait until next year to see if that's even.
Maybe McDowell's fast in the car. Who knows?
McDowell. It depends on the support that car gets, because right now it's getting Trackhouse support, but it's going to lose that Trackhouse support because Zane's leaving it.
Yep.
And that car only had the Trackhouse support because of Zane. Now the Trackhouse support is gone. Possibly, I don't know why they would keep support on the 71. I'd assume they'd probably just hotwire that to Childress, I guess. I don't know. They'll probably find an alliance. They'll find an alliance somewhere give Michael actually good cars, and I trust that they will, because the thing is, Spire doesn't actually put out that bad cars. They just can't make the most of those cars at the moment because they're still a relatively small team.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they are, despite the fact that it's probably one of the more, it's one of the only teams that can just buy charters. The team has potential, and we're seeing that in trucks. We're seeing how much potential Spire as a brand has, because they're actually making significant waves already in trucks.
I'd say they're making significant waves in Cup. I mean, I understand what Braden's saying, but at the same time, they are competitive. Right. Carson Hocevar runs top 15 all the time.
They're more competitive. Carson is more competitive than the
Corey.
Car has a right to be.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll make Carson an exception, I guess.
Carson,
sure.
I
see him in the top 15.
Carson just released his in-car camera.
But I'm gonna be
from Kansas, and he was passing like 20 cars.
I'm a little biased against him because I know he's young, and I know right hooking 5 different guys into a wall in the same season is a young guy will do that. He might, he's gonna learn, he's gonna grow and mature. But until he does that, I'm still not on his team. I am not on Carson Hocevar's team.
He did the redemption. He did the redemption arc.
Yeah, I'd say he's
did it last
fine.
year.
Dude, whenever you right hook 5 people in the same season, dude, it felt like every other week. A few years ago, it felt like every other week there was a clip of this guy trying to kill somebody.
That's because there was.
Last year he stopped wrecking people until he started wrecking people again. But he stopped wrecking people and actually started winning races clean. And started actually making a case for why he's not a dirtbag, and that he's actually why he's actually really good. And
it's still taking a little bit for me. I like him, but I'm not still fully on his team.
I get it. And most people are in the exact same boat as you. They're not sold on him yet. I'm not saying I'm fully sold on him either, and I may have a little bit of bias towards him, but he has, as a person and as a driver, he is really, I've noticed that he's really brought himself around and he's caused less incidents and put that incident put all of the energy it takes to cause an incident into running towards the front more often, and that's a really good sign. And I think if he can keep the car clean he will always have a shot at a top 15.
You have to remember, Carson Hocevar is the same driver who drove the 42 to the top 5 at Bristol last year, when the 42 was arguably the worst car on the track.
Well, to be fair, that was, I believe Hocevar's. I'm not. Actually, I don't know if last year's 42s were GMS trucks or not. I think they weren't, which says a lot.
Well, I'm talking about the Legacy 42.
Oh, the Legacy 42.
In Cup, when he subbed the
42
and drove.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah, he drove to the top 5 and stayed there and had a shot
right
to
into
win.
The top 5 under green and just.
Yeah. You got a bit of a Carson Hocevar glazer. You got a bit of a Carson Hocevar.
I'm with Dakota. I'm not completely sold on Carson Hocevar, but
your glazer.
He's shown me
confirmed your glazer.
That he has potential.
Confirmed.
He definitely does. But I'm giving him time because
I am too.
Every rookie should have time. And unfortunately, unless there's some charter shenanigans, Zane Smith at the moment does not have that chance anymore, which is really, it's disappointing because it's literally May 8th. Yeah, nobody should be, unless this was a planned move from weeks and or months ago between Spire, Trackhouse, and FRM.
Well,
it may be.
I don't know about front row, but I'd say for sure that this was always going to be a 1-year deal for Zane. He's going to drive the 71, and then he's going to move over to Trackhouse.
I think they already have it right. I don't think they would have let Zane go if they weren't going to buy a charter for him at Trackhouse.
Oh yeah, I think so. What I think is going to happen is because I think
they're going to buy the 41 charter.
Yeah, all of this is circling around Stewart Haas. There's a lot of rumors going around with Stewart Haas. There's
despite this having technically nothing to do with them.
It's all about them.
It's all about them.
So I think what's going to happen is I could see two possibilities. The most likely one for me is they sell the 41 charter to Trackhouse.
Yep.
That's where Zane goes.
Yep.
Now the next question is what happens with Shane Van Gisbergen, because he didn't move to the United States to run an Xfinity car. He wants to race Cup. So we'll see what happens with that. But Zane's going to drive that car for Trackhouse. It'll be the 97 or 95 or whatever the number they choose. Stewart Haas is going to move to a 3-car team. Spire is staying with McDowell, LaJoie, Hocevar. Priest is out.
Yep.
Priest might drive the 34. That's kind of my
Priest could go to the 34, but what I'd actually like to see him do is go to the 98 in Xfinity. And that would require Herbst going to the 34, and frankly,
that's another rumor that I've seen is
I'm okay with it.
Going up to the 34.
I think Herbst can prove himself.
But there's also a lot of talk about Custer being attached to a front row car. So
see, that would make sense if he did part-time starts for them in the last couple of years, the way that Herbst did, but the fact that despite there being availabilities in front row motorsports, Custer did part-time starts with Ware anyways.
Yeah.
That would tell me that if Custer is coming back and not to SHR, it would be to Rick Ware and not front row.
I could see that.
Which is why my bet would be on if anybody's coming up to the 34, it would be Herbst, because Herbst already has the connection at FRM.
He has the history. If the front row is fielding the 36 car, it's usually Herbst. So
right. That's just a surface observation, though.
So yeah.
Oh, then is front row going back to the Gill and Reagan days?
Maybe.
Sounds a lot like it.
David Reagan in the 34. Yes.
So that I guess we can kind of talk about, speaking of front row. There's another rumor going around about front row and Stewart Haas merging.
The merger.
So I think that's less likely than just one charter being sold.
I don't think that's going to happen.
But it sounds like it's a possibility. Apparently, Stuart
I
Haas.
saw.
Now, apparently, everything with Stuart Haas is for sale.
That's
Shop,
That's what I was going to bring up.
cars,
That possibly
everything
the
is for sale.
operation of SHR, the whole team is up for sale,
So
and
we'll see.
No way they just die like Ganassi did, right?
You can make the correlation that Bob Jenkins, FRM's owner, has a bit of a thing for buying other teams. He's done it a bunch of times before. He did it with BK. He did it with who did he do it? Who else did he do it with? He did it with Swan, I think. He's bought a bunch of he's bought out teams before. And while I don't think FRM would exactly be the prime buyer for SHR, if SHR was really selling, I think FRM is really buying there and looking to sell off 2 of those charters and make a 4-car team.
So,
and then also $80 million on top of it.
My kind of next question is let's say Stuart Haas and Front Row merge. What would the lineup be? Because for me, I think it would be Briscoe, Gregson, Gilliland, maybe Barry, but maybe Herbst.
It'd be Barry. It'd be Barry.
Yeah, I don't see them keeping. They definitely hired Barry for a reason. I don't think they want to get rid of him. So I would say the 4 lineup would be the 4 of Barry, the 10 of.
I'd say 4.
Now how does it look?
I'd say 4 for
How does
Barry,
this rebrand look?
14 for Briscoe, 34 for Gregson, 38 for Gilliland.
Okay. Well, the question is how does
what kind of merge are they
going to
do? Because I don't know if Front Row's just going to come over and use their numbers.
If they merge, I would say Front Row's.
I think they'd go for a
uniform.
Haas. I think they'd go uniform.
It would all be Front Row branding, in my opinion.
34, 35, 36, 38. Okay, let's go back to 2015.
Maybe.
I want my 2015 back. I want Matt Tiff back. That's what I want.
No, you don't. Oh my
Matt Tiff. I want Matt Tiff back.
Interesting.
Your throwback driver of the week, Matt Tiff.
So, speaking of throwbacks,
shout out to Matt though.
Let's
there you
briefly talk about some throwbacks.
That's the segue.
Great segue. Let's briefly talk about some throwbacks because I know this is a topic that
the best
Braden
ones are the ones you're not
really
trying to do.
enjoys. Throwback weekend.
The throwbacks are tight.
There's some good ones.
Throwback weekend.
Let's
start. But also, like half of them are just not doing it.
Yeah.
Trucks. Stuart Friesen is running a throwback.
Friesen did a good one.
2012 John Johnson car, dude. Oh my god.
That's a good one.
I thought that was 2010. Was it really 2012?
I think it's 2010, 2011, 2012. Who knows?
I don't remember. Either way, it makes me feel old.
Deegan announced today she's doing a Wrangler Earnhardt
Deegan
throwback
did a
in
Dale
the 15,
car.
and it's got that old 15 font.
15
so
Ford.
sick.
That's a cool font.
Just
I like that car.
Dale drove Ford 15.
Okay.
Yep.
There's a Harvick throwback with the white car.
Is there? I didn't
yes.
see that one.
Chad Fincham. Yeah, the 35. Gase's team is doing
And I mean,
Atlanta.
of course, all of Hendricks are just total bangers.
Hendrick is
banging, but
top.
I think we went over that last week, didn't we?
Or maybe 2 weeks
did.
ago. I don't know.
Let me see
But
if I can look up throwbacks on Twitter, and it would.
Did we do an episode last week?
We did. We had.
Oh yeah, we had Crystal.
We had Crystal.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Keselowski's throwback.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Crystal.
Keselowski. We talked about
we
Keselowski.
spoke on that last week.
We mentioned
Marcus
that.
Ambrose.
We mentioned that 2 weeks ago.
Marcus Ambrose
Yeah.
throwback.
SVG.
That's a cool one. I like that. Shout out to
Marcus
shout out to
Ambrose,
Marcus.
Shane
out
Van
there.
Gisbergen.
He's
McDowell?
balling.
McDowell is running a Long John Silver's classic car.
Oh yeah.
The legacy cars.
Oh my
are
god,
running
Ross Chastain's car.
50 styles.
Ross Chastain's car.
Cool. It's not a
Busch Light
throwback
car.
to any car, but it's a brand.
Yeah, it's like it's a
Busch
brand
Light.
throwback.
Cool. It's so funny because like the brand throwback. Like Truex is a brand throwback this year, but it's not cool. But
Yeah.
like Busch Light is a brand throwback, and everybody's like, "That's the best shit ever," and it's like
Because it's
so
awesome.
funny how like the sponsor itself is so important to the throwback.
Dude,
Sometimes.
Legacy Motor Club again. Last year they did this thing where they had like these old 50s cars.
They're doing
They're
that
doing it
again.
again this year,
Yeah.
and it looks good.
It
They
does
did
look
it.
good.
Yeah, they did it. It looks good, but I don't know. I just there's for some reason I'm not digging it. I'm not digging
Let's
Legacy
see.
this year. I
I
don't know.
think Legacy's throwbacks this year are very cool, but they kind of look a little sloppy.
They're good,
Like they're
right?
a
They're
little
good, but
busy.
they look thrown together.
They're a little busy. That's the best way to describe
Oh,
it.
They
that's
look.
right.
It looks like they've realized a month ago that they hadn't done
Yeah,
throwbacks
they're
for
like,
this
oh
race,
crap.
and they like
Yo,
had to throw two
Quaker
throwbacks
State,
together.
Quaker State with the I think it's a
Yes,
IndyCar throwback.
yes, the
IndyCar
cart
or
throwback.
cart
That's
or a
a
cart.
good
Is it
one.
a cart
Yeah,
throwback?
I believe that was cart. I haven't seen the picture in
Yeah,
like two
dude,
weeks though
that thing
because
is tight. Reddick,
that's a good one.
Reddick's throwback doesn't look like a
Reddick's throwing
throwback.
back to it's throwing back to a really obscure car, and I like that.
Yeah, but like I don't know, that scheme was just like so ahead of its time that on the current car it
Cool.
just looks normal.
Yeah,
It's
right.
weird. The 15 looks good, really good. We were
Yep,
talking about
the
that.
15
15
15,
looks
looks
I
sick.
thought the
nice.
15 looked really good.
15, I think, might be in my top 5. I really
I
like
think
the
it's top
15.
5 in
No,
Cup.
that thing's tight. Oh, someone in Xfinity's throwing
Cole
back to that
Custer.
damn Tiger car.
Cole Custer.
Cole
Cole
Custer, yeah.
Custer.
Cole Custer's throwing back to a yellow car, and I think that while that's very cool, I think it's low key the wrong yellow car. It's the wrong yellow throwback. I need my like 2001, 2002 yellow throwback now. I need it. I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna have to do if nobody does it. If nobody does it
You'll have to do it
now,
yourself.
like I'm going to. I'm going to paint one for
Season-
myself, and I'm bringing
Season
it to
2
North
of
Wilkesboro
Essex.
and Essex. Yeah, I'm bringing it to North Wilkesboro. I have to.
Yeah. So, if there's
Right.
unless there's anything else to talk about, Dakota's given us another amazing segue.
Right.
But if you guys have
boy.
any
Oh, I
other
don't want to
NASCAR news to talk
I
about, now's your
think
chance.
I've looked through all the
There was nothing to mention really in the
general
front race. It
NASCAR
was a
news.
good,
I
it
got
was
nothing. I mean, there's nothing else to talk
good,
about.
Alright.
good,
Essex.
good races. ARCA and trucks were good, but
Yeah. Essex.
you know what's better? Essex.
Essex season finale at Iowa Speedway is coming up in 2 days. Link in description. You should totally join. We're gonna have a great season 2. Happy to announce that season 2 is starting May 31st. So we'll have a 2-week off season. I haven't talked to Kez about it recently, but from the length of the off season, it seems like we might have no All-Star race until mid-season 2. I was under the
Yeah, it
assumption
didn't seem like one was planned.
that we would have one in the off season because that's what we talked about, but I don't think we're doing it anymore, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
We'll do
I'd
it.
rather set up preseason.
Yes,
Thunder the week
we
before.
are doing
Preseason Thunder at Michigan.
maybe.
Okay.
I'll talk to Kez about it. I'll see if we can do an exhibition
Yeah.
race.
You need a race.
I wouldn't even say an
That's what we need.
exhibition race. Just like set up like a 90-minute like Radman, just for fun.
Maybe. So
I don't know.
let's go over the points here because we have something to mention.
Yeah.
Ace Lancelot has apparently left Essex. No one said anything until I was doing penalties and I went to ping him and he was no longer available. Found out he left. So I'm assuming
I assume he left
the
sometime
criticism
after
got to him.
either the criticism or the actions of the 62, which
So
were amazing.
it has flip-flopped.
Right.
Going into Elko, Kez Hiller was leading the points by 6 over Dakota Vega. Dakota, you are now leading by 6 over Kez.
Yep.
So
Feels exact. It doesn't feel any different.
it's. I told you after Elko, don't stress yourself out over the points. We're gonna go into Iowa like every other race, and we're just gonna see what happens.
That's what I've been trying to do. I've been trying hard to do that, but I don't know.
Iowa is a home race for Kona 2 Racing, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can get the win. That's what I'm hoping for. But it would be even better if we won the championship. So we'll see what happens. I am officially out of it. I don't think I can gain 50 points on you, Dakota, so I'm out. But I do think I will
Yeah, it's
get the podium finish.
unlikely. Yeah, you should be good in third. I don't
I am
know what the standings
28
beyond
points behind
second
Ace,
are.
so I think I'm good. Because Ace won't get points.
Standings, Ace is gonna have no. Yeah, you're gonna get past Ace,
So
but
I
yeah,
just want
unless
to...
Kez doesn't show up, you have no chance of anything above third. But you will get third.
I want to take this time to, if anyone from Essex is listening, I think that's where most of our listeners come from. But I just want to say thank you to everyone for making this such a good season. We've had a very competitive season with multiple winners. I think we've only had 2 repeat winners, that being Jort and Victor Delgado. So
Robbie
has won multiple races. So
one another. Yeah.
Even still, out of 14
that's it, though.
races, we've had, what would that be?
Like 10 winners.
10 different winners.
It's been amazing.
It's been a really good season. I'm even more excited for season 2. We are switching to Cup Physics, so I think the racing will get a little more competitive. We're also switching to 2 times tire wear and pit stop frequencies, so it's going to be more competitive in terms of pit stops and tire wear. You have to learn how to manage your stuff better. I have a spreadsheet made for Season 2, so no longer will you have to sit and wait until the day before the race to get the track. All the tracks are actually there.
Hip hip away! Hip hip away!
If setups are going to be different, that's probably going to be a week of thing, but you will have the track to get familiar with. I think that's it for announcements for Essex, but yeah, it's just been a really good season. Thank you to both of you guys for helping make Kona 2 Racing extremely competitive. Thank you to Ryan if he's listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've really gotten in there with the extreme competitivity.
Chase
That's even a word.
has been a good partner with Rust Bucket, bringing Speed Miles in. They're also running really well, so that's awesome for them. Obviously, Robbie has gotten us the majority of the wins like he usually does, but Robbie's been a great partner to have at the team. Hoping we can finish the season out strong with a win. But how do you guys think Iowa will go? Because in the Essex Discord, we actually had a lot of debate about how people felt about the setup.
About the track, about the setup.
So
I think it's fantastic.
I agree. I really like it.
And I wish there was a version. I think it's fantastic, and I wish there was a version of the track that had our logos on it.
Yeah, because I mean, maybe it's just a bias thing, or maybe it's the fact that I've been practicing this track for like 6 months. Just anytime I am bored and I just happen to be on my computer, I pull up Iowa and I practice on it. I really like the setup. I think it's a lot of fun.
I think the setup's great.
We had some people saying that there's going to be no passing. I disagree wholeheartedly.
We had one singular dumbass say that there wasn't going to be a passing.
I think we're going to see a very competitive field.
I think we are going to be just fine.
I think we're going to see a lot of passing, because a lot of these people in the Discord were saying that they aren't comfortable with the setup. So you have
I don't see it. I mean, I have no issue.
Who think that we're very
comfortable
with
right.
it. And then you have people.
I have no issue with somebody not liking the setup, but like the setup's good.
And I think we'll see passing throughout the entire field. I think it's going to be a very. I
don't think passing's going to be the easiest thing to do, but
it won't be easy,
you can absolutely pass at Iowa.
So
it may be a little bit harder than. It may be a little bit harder with GNS physics because I know passing's a little bit trickier with this stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just if you can pass in GNS physics, it means you can pass really damn well in Cup physics, and that's going to get people's attention. So
yeah. So I yeah, I think it's going to be a really exciting race. We have 6 points separating the points leaders, and
I mean, if you want to talk championship and ask the tough questions, this is your
Oh, come
this is your
on.
only. If you
Okay.
want,
Total bullshit. Because earlier this week, my attempt at journalism got absolutely and I got shut down after
I
I was
didn't
told to
shut
go
down.
myself.
You are
I'm over
vastly
exaggerating. I'm over
over
exaggerating. I
proportionless.
know. I'm
I
with you.
I forgot to send my answer to you. In fact, I think if I pull up my DM with you, yeah, if I pull up my DM with you on my computer, it's still there,
Dude,
like
what?
waiting to
yeah,
be
Connor,
sent.
you hear that?
Like,
Braden
I
approached
just
me and
forgot about it.
he was like, when are the championship contender interviews coming out? And I said never, because I had no intention of doing any. He was like, what if I did them? And I was like, sure, go for it. And
Sure, I guess.
let me see what he told me, because he was very, very disappointed. If I can actually,
Braden
Dude, my
hit me up
attempt at
with
journalism
he,
shattered.
Braden hit me up with Connor's forcing me to interview people. So
I did not force him to do anything.
I knew you
So,
didn't.
okay, I said that he can be the Bob Pockrass of Exis, a reporter but also an insider.
It's just.
And let me see what he says here.
Hey, by the way, go
He
ahead, go to
said,
your local Walmart, local gas station,
The-
get you a Mountain Dew.
these guys are not big fans of journalism. And I said, is it
Plug.
not going well? And he said, Dakota basically told me to F off and Kez hasn't responded. And I said, you got to
I
talk
did
to
not.
Ace. And he said, no. And I said, that was biased
No,
reporting.
no. Let's
I,
put the
I
real.
said that because,
put
like,
the
you basically just
let's put
said.
the real information out. I didn't respond, and he asked me if I had an answer to the question. I told him I forgot, and Braden said, "quote Connor's gonna shoot me. I need it." And I said, in response to that, if he has a problem about it, tell him to talk to me. And Braden just says, "I was lying." He says 2 hours later, he just says, "I was lying. I just won the interview."
Yeah,
I was at
I
work.
didn't force him to do
He,
anything. He
I, re-
approached me
I
with the idea.
responded to him. I responded to him after 1 minute. He responded back in 2 hours.
I was lying. I just want the
So,
interview. Dude, whenever
I
you
was
said
lying. I just want the interview.
whenever you said for Gore and then just didn't send
I
anything
for
after that, I'm
Gore.
like, wow. Well, this guy
Yeah.
just told me to go himself. Okay, I'm done with him.
I did
No
not.
one Dakota.
let's move on to
And then Kez
NARL.
just literally ignored me. Kez hasn't even answered my DM
It
still.
just didn't answer yet.
So,
Kez Hiller, with just one race left in the inaugural season of Essex, you find yourself within 10 points in the current points leader. How do you feel about your odds?
Damn,
And
you
then no
threw it at him.
response.
Damn.
silence. So, NARL had its second race of the season at California.
Arl had its second race of the season.
And once again, we had to qualify into the race. Chase Severs did not make it.
did not make
Rest
it.
in
That
peace to
was
Chase.
yeah.
One car had to sit out, and Chase just so happened.
I found out via a screenshot from Zach Hilliard.
So, it was
And then
honestly.
he sent me the screenshot and he just said some shit and I just instead of saving the screenshot and sending it in Kona 2, I was like, what if I just went into the staff chat and said not Braden. Case, what the happened, bro?
Yeah, he ran a very slow lap. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, he ran like a 42 something.
But it was honestly a really good race. It got sloppy for NARL standards. We had to use a caution cooldown once, but
that's not bad.
there
for
was
NARL standards.
actually a long green flag run with passing, and that's where my race came crashing down, because we were freight training around the top and we were all drafting off each other. I was running 9th, maybe 10th, full on drafting. And Nico Servideo, who's a good friend of the team, a good friend of Kona 2, was in front of me, and I was drafting off of him. And going down the backstretch, I got a very, very big run. And entering turn 3, there was a checkup. I wasn't ready for it. I slammed on the brakes, and I right hooked him into the wall. I got collected in it. It was just a 2-car incident just between the two of us. I was okay. And then, I mean, I ruined Nico's race. Nico was genuinely mad at me. And then something happened, and I fell back. I don't remember what it was. Maybe I got in another wreck or something. I'm not sure. I ended up finishing like 24th, but it was an interesting race. I bet you can't guess what happened to Braden.
No, come on,
He blew
dude.
his engine, didn't
He
he?
DNF'd.
No.
He parked it.
Dude,
He parked
okay.
it.
Oh.
Oh, Connor.
He parked it.
Okay, this guy. This guy.
Braden.
This guy.
Braden.
Give me.
Braden.
Literally, let me
Braden.
explain.
He got wrecked and parked
Braden.
it.
Can you?
Braden, what happened?
Dude, let me tell you.
Tell us
How
what
about I
happened.
go ahead and tell you?
Tell us.
So, just like any normal sane human would be, I wreck with like 5 laps to go on a restart, and my
Okay.
race is over. Why would I finish the race? I'm just gonna retire
So
and
he
watch
wrecked out.
This is the
That's
mentality of Braden these days.
Who gives a
Well, I'm
That's what I'm
just
saying. Who
I'm-
gives a fuck?
giving him a hard time.
Who gives a He wrecked.
I know, but that's not something that I would do personally. So I'm just giving him a hard time. It's 5 to go
Anyways.
to finish the
I'm-
race, but
It was a fun race,
It was
whatever,
fun.
badoo-badabble.
Braden actually was pretty competitive. It all started when the 20 doored him on a restart.
Well,
And that was
see,
20?
I went back and looked at the replay, and
In the 20.
he didn't door me at all, actually. I literally just turned down into him. And, because the entrance to, turn 1 is kind of awkward on restarts, because you never know where guys are going to go,
Yeah,
obviously, because the track is
it's
so
weird.
goddamn
Yeah.
wide. And I thought he would go more near the apron, but we were, too wide, and he took, the high middle line under me. And I just wasn't expecting that at all, so I turned down into him, and I thought he doored me. So I went up the track, I lost, 5, 6 positions. And then I just kind of, got stuck. And then that was after I got involved in a wreck, actually.
I am just giving you a hard
Me and
time,
Connor
Braden.
were literally running 1-2 and a wreck happened in front of us and I got caught up in it. And then, I was just average Joe for a while. And on the final restart, I decided to make an audible and restart in first gear. And I just, became, went into amateur hour and I spun the tires and wrecked myself. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a hard time. It's just kind of comical at this point. The luck
I
for
mean,
you has been
I
been
don't
horrid.
even know what to say
It's
in regards to your luck. I don't even know.
it's been
I've never seen
unreal.
luck this bad.
When you talk about the Essex race,
In-
oh
in
wait,
4
I got disqualified.
years.
I got
In my
Yeah.
almost 4.5 years doing this across all disciplines of stock car racing, sports car racing, open wheel racing, everything. I have never seen pure luck this bad.
It's just unbelievable.
It's shocking.
And that is why he's dropping the Dark Knight persona.
I'm not dropping it completely.
Dark Knight.
It's more
The
of
the Dark Knight.
it's
Like a
it's
background
a
thing.
niche background persona.
The Dark Knight is not fallen. He is merely taking a nap.
He's not.
I'm back to
yeah.
Boob Lover. We are going back to the kart season 5 days, rookie of the year.
Yeah.
He's back to tits guy.
Tits,
Don't you dare
boobs.
censor that.
So,
I was gonna say, don't you dare try and cut that out.
did you race and score? How'd that go?
Score did not run because of
That's
Kansas,
right. Kansas delayed it. Any other leagues? that
which
you
I
raced
think
in?
was a fantastic decision. Aside from the league that we can't talk about yet,
Oh yeah.
I am
Why are we- come
currently
on,
not
come
doing
on.
too much.
What,
No, we can't talk about it.
We need some confidentiality around here. Why are we even bringing it up on
We
the
can't
podcast?
talk about it
Why are we even bringing it up on the podcast?
Well,
because it's relevant enough to bring up in a shroud.
That will
But it's not. We can't say anything about
that
it.
will lead me to this.
Yeah, no,
So we can
no,
say
no,
that
bad
will
enough.
lead me to
Right,
this.
I was gonna say we can't say anything about it, but we can say something about when we will say something about it.
Next week, we are having a guest on the show, a very well-known guest in the community, and we have a big announcement to make. So make sure you tune in for that.
Oh, you're gonna push Tristan back another week?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Tristan. It's almost a joke at this point. Like Tristan's getting pushed another 2 weeks now.
I asked if he was okay with it. He said yes, but yes.
Oh my god.
We are having a different guest next week,
Tristan was supposed to be on like a month ago.
and they
The
have a big
next guest
announcement.
episode needs to be Deceivers. Just
The
to push him back.
The next
Again.
after the one we're doing next week.
Yes. Need to have Deceivers on just to do it again.
Sure. I mean, who cares? Like,
But yes, tune in next week
yeah,
because
we'll
we have a big announcement to
tune
make.
in next week because we have big announcements and
We're using
and,
the podcast for an announcement.
We
How
are.
many dude hit better?
Kona
Better advertise it. Better advertise it. That son of a.
Well, there's
He's got
the,
a bigger award than any of us.
There's the special guest. Braden spilled the beans.
Braden just shot himself.
So-
You can literally edit that out.
joking.
You can literally edit that out.
I will. But yeah, I think
I
that's,
will. He's gonna forget. He's gonna forget.
that's,
I will, he said. No, he won't.
That's
You're gonna forget.
really about it. I
He
think
will not.
there's
Come on, we haven't even hit an hour.
that's
Got
true.
something else to go
Trying to
over.
be more to talk about. Are you kidding me?
Is there more to
Go
talk
follow
about?
my TikTok. Go follow my TikTok.
Yes,
Dr. Farley on
follow
TikTok.
Dr. Fartley on
Go follow
TikTok
Dr. Fartley on TikTok.
for
Yeah.
some very interesting
I don't
gaming
even. I don't
highlights.
even. Not only do I not follow Dr. Fartley on TikTok, I do not have a TikTok to follow Dr. Fartley on. So I'm sorry, Braden. I cannot
That's-
follow you on TikTok.
Nothing wrong with that.
I can't be bothered to have TikTok.
So yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about, Dakota, since you are pushing for the hour mark?
Whoa. What? You got a problem with that, Connor?
No, I
you got
don't.
a problem with that? You
Are
don't
we
want
at
to
the hour mark
I'm
yet?
just curious.
You don't want a podcast, Connor? You don't want to do some podcasting?
We have
You don't want to do
podcasts.
some podcasting?
We had some beef in the middle of the show.
We've been podcasting all hour. We have beef?
Kinda. Over Spire.
I guess we had Spire beef, yeah.
So
Well,
Uh,
well,
I guess we don't have anything else. I'm
There's
not.
gotta be something, dude.
You
There's
know
gotta
what?
be something.
I'm not gonna. You know what? Are we? How close to the hour are we?
we are
Darlington's gonna be a sick race. I mean, I'm pumped for
2.5
Darlington's gonna be
minutes
fire.
from the hour mark.
I'm
2.5
pumped for
minutes.
Darlington. I'm pumped from Darlington.
Dear listener with OCD, go yourself. End it before an hour.
All right. Now Dakota's
the listener
dying,
I just
so
the listener I just is me, by the way.
I think
I'm doing this to piss me and me alone off.
I think that's gonna be it for us here
That sounds like about
at
it.
the Kona 2
That
podcast.
evolved heavily.
We will be back next week.
We will be back next week
With
with,
big news.
a crowned Essex champion and a
We're
lot
back
of
with big news, such big news, massive news.
and yes, an
Donald
Essex
Trump's in the
champion.
room with us.
We'll recap NARL, Michigan.
Apparently we've been joined by the 45th president. Oh God,
So I think that's a good place to
We'll
stop.
be back
it
next week.
before things
that's
get
a
out of
great
hand.
place to stop.
Championship race.
So-
We're having a championship race this week, and it's gonna be so grand, so
we
massive.
go.
It's gonna be so huge,
If-
so huge.
If you want to take us out, since you brought us in, Mr. President, go for it.
It's gonna be so huge.
president.
This weekend we're going to Iowa. Friday night it's going to be so massive, so massive. I'm going to be bringing my campaign into town. It's
48
going to be
hours
so huge.
time.
I plan on taking the state of Iowa. We're going to be taking the state of Iowa this November. It's going to be huge. I cannot wait to be at the racetrack.
I was
At
referring
the facility.
more to, ending the podcast.
Essex Championship
but-
race. Have a
End-
good night,
end of the
everybody.
Podcast. Brittany.
End of the
Thank you.
podcast. We're ending it right now. Goodbye, everybody. Here we go.